So
Damn.
a Black man is appreciated, loved, and valued only for what he can provide. And that's normally financial. So if his finances are not up to par where a woman or a family thinks they should be, then he has no value.
Welcome to the Crafted Man Podcast, episode 2. I really want to thank y'all for listening. It warms my heart that I haven't done a show in almost 4 years and y'all still rocking me the way that you do. That first episode was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it and the feedback was really positive. But as they say, all good things are going to have to come to an end at some point, right? Like I said in that pilot show, this show will be laughs, it'll be tears, and it'll be everything in between. And the conversation today is going to be a thought-provoking one. This week's guest is Erica Lewis, life coach to Black men exclusively. I've known Erica for a little while now, and she is one of the most smart, eclectic, and real people that I know. I'll also say that you'll always know where you stand with Erica. So I knew I wanted to get her on my show as soon as I got this thing up and running. I just didn't know where this conversation was going to go, but take a listen.
I think we're going to start the show now. Everybody, we just did a show. It's very interesting what we got going on in our lives and our little circle from people that don't like circles.
Yeah,
We're kind of squares.
very much so.
But I'm here with my favorite life coach, Erica.
Oh,
Damn. That's all you got is a hi.
oh,
Yeah, you do sound like it.
stopping.
And so today we're just gonna go over what life coach situation she's had, especially dealing with Black men, because she specializes in Black men, which I knew that she told me, but I just thought that was neat because a few years back I was looking for a therapist and I could not find a Black therapist outside of a teletherapy situation, and it kind of for Black male therapists. I found a couple of female therapists. I know a couple of female therapists now. But I was just looking for a male. And I kind of just stopped after that and just started dealing with my own shit. So that's what I do. Say hello to the world, Erica.
Hello, world. My name is Erica. I am a Black coach. Please.
A Black coach.
I'm a Black coach. I am a life coach that specializes in the emotional and psychological well-being of specifically Black men.
And she has a wonderful voice. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I completely forgot. Tonight we're gonna finish this bottle of, I am gonna finish this bottle of Hennessy. I know you're
I'm not a fan of.
not a fan of Hennessy. That's the drink for the evening. But so what got you into life coaching?
So honestly, 90% of my friends are Black males. And I started noticing that there was no one who was really holding space for them. And we had a lot of conversations about, like just their mental well-being, how they felt and how they felt like there was no one for them to talk to. They didn't have an outlet. Like, girlfriends at home didn't seem to care. They grew up with maybe not the best relationship with their mothers. And after that, I started talking to more Black men, like Black men that I worked with, or even some of my relatives. And I quickly learned that Black men don't have safe spaces.
Yeah, I feel that same way. Before we get too deep into it, you want to have a little fun?
I like fun, sure.
You like fun?
I like fun.
All right. What we're gonna do is called the Boozy I can't even talk now. Too much Hennessy already. Boozy breakdown. So what this is, we're going to throw over 3 quick stories. And I want your thoughts on them.
Okay.
So, first one is this one right here.
Friendly. That's how this beluga whale was described. He is very loving and he had a way, an indescribable way of connecting with humans. But its life was surrounded by controversy. Now, so is its death. This is a situation that I've been worried about for quite a while. When it first appeared off the Norwegian coast in 2019, the beluga was wearing what looked like a camera harness labeled Equipment St. Petersburg, sparking rampant rumors it was a spy whale. The idea, not entirely impossible, marine mammals are trained by military around the world, as seen in this video from the US Navy. Speculation the beluga in Norway could have come from Russia led to its name, a combination of the Norwegian Val for whale and Russian President Vladimir Putin to create Valdemir. The tourists wake him up while he's sleeping in order him to do tricks. But with popularity came problems, vessel strikes and entanglements, uncontrolled human interaction. One whale advocated moving it north in the hopes it would join other belugas. But the plan stalled after a different group, Marine Mind, launched an objection, arguing it was safer to keep the whale where it was. Valdemir was found dead Sunday.
I'm going to stop that right there. What do you think of spy whales?
I have never in my life until right now heard of a spy whale. It's interesting. I can say that.
What do you think about animals as spies, period?
Well, that's not new. They've been doing that for quite some time.
What if Snoopy was a Chinese spy?
Snoopy, as in the animation.
As in Snoopy. Okay, we'll say, give me another one. Let's say Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. I don't think Scooby could be
a spy.
a spy. Scooby was always high.
Was he though?
Scooby and Shaggy were always.
I can't say anything about Shaggy. I can say I don't know about Scooby. I never seen Scooby getting high.
Did you not see Scooby always eating with Shaggy?
Yes, Scooby's a hungry dog. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Okay. All right.
Don't ruin my childhood.
Corbin doesn't want to ruin his childhood if I say
No.
the fact that.
What if one of the Care Bears was a spy? What was this? Snitchy Bear or what?
You know,
Big
that
Snitchy Bear.
would be hilarious. You know, instead of radiating love out of their hearts, it would be like
What you doing?
magnetic waves, like controlling people's brains.
It would be a bunch of photos. Clack, clack, clack.
Right,
That's all you hear.
right. Some real Men in Black type stuff.
Okay, so I guess you're not cool with animals being
I'm not cool with animals being
used as spies.
No, not really.
I think that's some type of abuse. I will honestly say that.
I mean, I can agree with that. I think it's very unethical in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the word. Unethical.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't hook cameras to dogs and birds and stuff like that. I guess everybody's doing it, but I don't know how useful that stuff would be. All right, here is the next one.
Scientists in Japan say they discovered a new way to find living skin tissue
Oh gosh, that's gross.
to a mechanical robot surface. The soft blob stares at the camera with glossy eyes before pulling its face into a dimpled smile. So this is a lab-grown, self-healing human skin. Scientists hope to add more sensory functions to make that skin more responsive to environmental stimuli. Are you ready to have robots have skin like humans and then smile like? Scientists in Japan.
Okay. I have one question, but your thoughts on smiling robot skin.
No. AI is very advanced as is. And I don't want a robot with humanoid skin smiling at me. That's creepy.
So my thought when I first saw this was why?
Yes.
For what?
I mean, probably to make them more digestible to humans. So the humans maybe would.
It looked like a condom.
It did. It looked like a pink condom with a smile.
I just don't know why. It did look like somebody put some the hot glue gun with the eyes.
Like the little googly eyes.
Yeah, it did look like that. And I just don't know why. Like, what is this for? If you could explain a good application, or 30 years from now we'll be able to redo your whole arm or hand or okay.
Well, so they already do something like that. Regional 1 is one of the hospitals that do it, actually.
Really?
Yeah, they have found ways to regenerate human skin. It starts with fish scales, usually tilapia, to help heal the area. And then from there, they're able to use stem cells to regrow skin.
And if it helps burn victims and stuff like that, I'm all for it.
That's exactly why they're doing it.
Last one.
NASA climate scientists are warning about the potential resurgence of so-called zombie viruses, or viruses that can come back from the dead. They say warmer conditions are causing part of the Arctic's permafrost to thaw. If it thaws significantly, they say some viruses that have been lying dormant for tens of thousands of years could reemerge and possibly endanger animals and humans. Scientists say the permafrost acts like a time capsule for viruses and the mummified remains of long-gone animals. NASA wants to see climate concerns addressed.
So what do we think of that?
I've heard of it.
Zombie viruses.
So one of those zombie viruses, they were worried about, it was maybe 5-10 years ago. Among the tundra, just like that, the Arctic, they found dormant the black plague.
Oh.
Yes. They found that. And it made people very nervous. It made scientists, biologists very, very nervous. So ever since then, they have been fighting, like kind of solidly fighting with the government to try to slow down global warming, although I have no idea how they would do that.
Global warming used to be a thing that I was like, I used to be like all for. I'm for it, not global warming, but stopping it. However, you don't have everybody on board doing that. Everybody on this planet on board doing that. It doesn't matter.
So, global warming, I think, is one of those things that aren't really realizing. This globe planet has been through multiple events like that, right? Super hot, super cold, and super hot, and super cold. It's the part of life flight over the damn plane.
I agree with that. However, I think we can speed it up a little bit.
We're definitely speeding it up.
But I also believe that the United States, or let's just say North America, South America, decide that we're going to do everything we can to stop global warming. It ain't going to matter because nobody else is doing it. It's an all hands on deck situation.
You're right. Do you remember during COVID when the Earth was literally that year we were locked down, the Earth started healing itself?
Yeah, started healing itself.
Right. So you're right. It's going to take everybody at one time, but preferably not with COVID.
Yeah.
Or something else that kills thousands of people.
Erica, the life coach, I have a couple questions here, and then this could go anywhere. I may just ask one, and we just talk like we do. What are some of the issues that you see in Black men that are unique to us specifically? Like when you started becoming a life coach, you saw these things. You saw, like you said earlier, that there isn't a space for Black men. What specifically, or not even specifically, just give me some issues that you feel like Black men deal with that the general population may never think about.
Black men are held to a higher standard, both in the home, inside of society, and at work. So much so that there has been an air of perfection that is expected of Black men, and it's not realistic, nor is it fair.
So when you say that, you mean you got to work twice as hard to get half as far type stuff?
Well, I do mean that, but I also mean even within the home, right? Black men are looked at and only appreciated for what they can bring, what they offer. And I don't say that lightly. And I'm sure it's going to make a lot of people mad, but it's true. So
Damn.
a Black man is appreciated, loved, and valued only for what he can provide. And that's normally financial. So if his finances are not up to par where a woman or a family thinks they should be, then he has no value. And that's not true.
Damn, that's tough. I've had this conversation with guys. Chris Rock said it too, but it's a lot of guys that I know that feel like that. Like, especially when talking with mixed company, men and women get together, they start talking, and a lot of single women will tell you that they want a man that's successful. You'll hear he has to make 6 figures. He's got to do this or that. And I've always thought, because I used to watch the show when I was a kid called Rock. I know you probably heard it was on Fox. Anyway, he was a garbage man, and he worked every day. He provided for his family. Now that was late 80s, early 90s. But what about the guy that drives a trash truck or that isn't in a quote unquote glamorous field, or the guy that just works in sales, or the man that is a farmer? I mean, it's a lot of you are right. From what I have heard, there are a lot of unreal expectations just specifically placed on Black men, and I know everybody has them, but and just thinking about what you said, that really stood out to me, because you don't hear, I just want a good man.
You don't.
There's a bunch of qualifying stuff. It's like, he's got to do this, he's got to do that. He's got to be a thug with a heart that's an artist and funny, but not too funny.
Yeah.
He's got to be strong, but cry sometime, but not too much, because I don't want no weak sissy boy.
Right.
That type of, it's just this person, one of these people does not exist.
Most of those people do not exist, right? Especially simultaneously within one person.
Yes, that's a schizophrenic individual.
Yes, or bipolar. But in all honesty, the main thing that I hear from men is often, Erica, I just want to be understood. I want to be loved for who I am.
How do you, hearing you say that, how do you even get there? I know that this is something that you have to work on, but let's just say, that's just foreign to me to hear love for who I am, not what I can do.
Why is it foreign to you?
I can't think of.
But that's the bigger question, right?
Yeah, it is.
That is something that you as a Black man have never even considered possible, right?
Yeah.
Imagine how many Black men there are who need that, who want that, who don't get that, but still try to show up every day. I'm going to be told that them showing up every day is not good enough. Yes, I go to work every day. Yes, I take care of my children. Yes, I love my wife. Yes, I bust my ass at this job. But when I come home, I'm disrespected more within these 4 walls than I am anywhere else.
That's a message right there. We're not going to solve that tonight, and I don't even want to think about it anymore, because I'm still dwelling on that. How does that show up in real life for a man to be like, hey, I'm here, and that's good enough?
So when I say show up and be appreciated for who and what they are, right? By that, I just mean simply the same way that, I'm speaking specifically for, we'll just say married men, okay? The same way where you show up and you let your wives just be, you let them be who they are from the 4 walls of this home, because they are protected, they are valued, they are loved, they are cared for. And a lot of times they are catered to, because Black husbands are some of the most caring men you're going to run across, right?
That's facts.
It is.
I'm not being funny. That's fact.
It is, right? And that's mainly because the things that we deal with outside of our walls, we don't want to bring home, right? So that being the case, when they say, Erica, I just want to be loved and respected for who I am, initially what they're saying is, I want someone to love me for the Black man that I am, for the Black husband that I am, for the Black father that I am, and let everything else be a bonus. Right? If I make, whether I make $50,000 a year or I make $150,000 a year, who I am as a man does not change.
Yeah, the money has no barrier on that.
It doesn't.
You can be a shitty person with or without money.
Correct. Now, you could be a great man who goes to a job, has great benefits, who makes $60,000 a year, and takes great care of his family. But a lot of times, he's going to catch a lot of slack when he gets home, especially if his wife, his long-time girlfriend, whoever, has friends who have, say, husbands or boyfriends who have six-figure jobs. Right?
Yeah, or just being a single guy. I can imagine going out there and saying I make 62 grand. Oh, why does how much I make even come up? Like, I don't. I play it forward like from a single man's perspective. I'm not single, but from a single man's perspective, you're getting to know me. Yes, my income, what I do, probably should come up to me second, third date, maybe.
Why?
I mean, because if we've gone through date number one, you're just trying to figure out who I am as a person. So I'm presenting the best of me to you in date number one. Date number two, I might be really comfortable with you. So I let my guard down a little bit. I figured by the third date, you want to ask about my finances and stuff like that. First of all, you should be able to tell by where we're going to eat, what we're doing, things like that. Now, I do know guys that struggle to go out, but I would say for the most part, the people that I know, if I'm taking you to a museum or something like that, that's probably more important than spending $500 on a Kendrick Lamar concert. To me, it should be, because I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. We want to vibe on some type of level. Music blasting, we're not vibing. We can't. Like going to a movie, and you watch the movie, we can't really get to know each other. So things like that, those candlelight things, concerts, yeah, like that type of stuff, I could see that takes thought. It's a certain type of guy that does that type of stuff.
Yeah,
it's not every man. Now that man may not be well off. He might just have a few dollars. That type of situation. So I figure you need to know how many kids I got more than you need to know how much I made right off the bat.
No, I agree with you. See, but here's the issue with that. The way you started that, saying maybe by the third date that your finances should come up, or you would be okay with someone asking you that, right?
Yeah.
By the third date, you still don't know her. She doesn't know you. So I don't understand why you feel like your financial needs would need to come up to her already. You didn't know her, because at this point, you're doing it. You're putting a dollar-based value on yourself.
I see that.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, so say she says, hey, Corbin, let's go.
So she got to say it like that.
What's
No, that voice a little too high. You trying to say something? No, so let's try another one. Okay.
So let's say she says, hey, Corbin, let's go.
I like that.
To Ruth's Chris, right? You're like, okay, cool.
I'm like, shit.
But you being who you are, you would take her.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And she wants to go to Ruth's Chris. Let's go to Ruth's Chris.
Ruth's Chris is closed, by the way, but okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's say she says she wants to go here. You're going to tell her, okay, cool, we can go there. I'll pay. Right?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'll pay, but it should be understood that I'll pay.
It should be understood, but let's be real. It's 2024.
Yeah,
and about
I ain't been in the streets
every day.
I ain't been in the streets like that.
But
I just feel like if I say yes, that just means I'm probably going to pay.
We'll get to that in a minute. Okay.
Okay.
So, There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the need to take her there, so you take her there. It's not a big problem. Now, on the flip side of that, let's say you're talking to a girl and your first date, she says, okay, you want to take me out? I need you to do my hair, I need you to do my nails and my feet.
I'm going the opposite direction.
As you should, but do you know how many men don't?
No, I don't. I never thought of that as, okay, let me backtrack. I feel like a woman would say that because somebody has done that.
Exactly. Exactly, right? And so I talk to men often, and I tell them all the same thing. If you have these issues and you are feeling this way, at some point you have to hold yourself accountable and say,
No.
hey, maybe it is us as men who are giving these women everything they want far too early on without holding them to any kind of standard, while they are holding you to the very highest.
Yeah, that's a word. I didn't even think about that. But no, like for me, I can't do that.
Right, but you know how many men don't? Or God forbid if a man does tell a woman that, now you're going to talk with a conversation, you're Mr. Brokey in her phone, when it's not the case at all. Like, no, I'm not broke. I'm just not doing all that when I just met you.
I'm just going to have to be Mr. Brokey. That's okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I get everything you're saying. It makes total sense. I just never thought about that. Like, I'm going to sit there and have to pay for everything that you want to go out with me tonight. But who's to say you don't go out with another guy or two other dudes the next 3-4 days? So the hair I'm paying for, the nails I'm paying for, all this stuff is for me and the crew, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You out here being Drake.
No, I can't do that.
Being light skinned.
I don't have it in me. Man, I hate to get off this, but I'm gonna ask you, have you had to address, or how would you address the stigma that Black people have with getting mental health help? Like, I know part of everything you're saying is a mental health thing because it's in your head. It's what you go through on a daily basis. So it all ties back into your mental health. So how do you address, or do you even address, when somebody wants you to be their coach? I guess they would had to have done a little work.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. Like I've spoken with men who okay, so just a heads up real quick. I am a real person, right?
Yeah.
I am not a therapist for a reason. I don't have the doctorate behind my name for a reason. I am a life coach because men are stubborn, men are hard-headed, and sometimes they need to be just flat out told or asked, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right?
I agree.
So I'm held to a different set of ethics and standards than someone who has the PhD behind their name, right?
They can't do that.
I mean, they could. They might be complaining, but they could. So, yes, I have had many men who honestly just knew, it started with a conversation with Erica, I just need help. Like, I don't like how I'm feeling. I don't like what I'm going through. I just need help to sort this shit out. And I'm like, bet. And those are my favorite clients. The people who come in and say, I grew up in the church and my family never believed in therapy. My family never believed in any kind of coaching. I love dealing with them strictly because by the time we're finished, they have found a sense of wholeness, completeness, and acceptance for themselves if they need to follow.
Is there a finish?
You can graduate from therapy or coaching, right? You absolutely can graduate from it. But for me, right, I am one of those coaches who, even though we don't have regular sessions anymore, you always have my number. If you're ever going through a mental health issue and you need help for something that we have discussed, something that we have maybe already worked through, but it's cycling back around and you're not in a mind frame where you can digest that in the moment, my phone is always available. I'm always here because that's my job and that's what I do.
It just sounds like when people say finish or graduate that there's no more work to be done. I assume that at that point it's just you're given the tools
Correct.
to handle what you need to handle. But life can life. And
Life
you get
will
along.
life. Life will life. And you will get overwhelmed. And that is why I'm always here.
Yeah.
That is why everyone has my number. That is why I have had a couple of people who will literally be in the middle of like a bad breakup with a girlfriend and call me like, Erica, what the fuck do I do? And they're like bawling, crying. They can't let that out to anybody else because they don't know how, because they don't feel comfortable and safe. So my goal, my only goal, is to give Black men a space. I told you before, to give you a space to just be, right?
Yeah.
Where you can be and you can breathe for a minute.
And you can put all that stuff down
Yes, take it off. It's the mask you wear every day
for just a few minutes.
for just a few minutes, you know.
You could imagine. I mean, you'd be surprised how that feels. I mean, it's 5 minutes without having to go through what you go through on a daily basis seems like forever sometimes.
You know, and it means a lot to me also because I have a Black husband and I have seen the stuff that he goes through. So if I can create a safe space for other Black men the same way that I have for him, just to be able to give you a moment to just breathe, you know, to just, and I don't mean like, yes, they're going to be like, Erica, I breathe every day. No, what I'm saying is take a deep breath and let it all the way out.
God,
You know what I mean? When you can fill your chest up, fill your lungs up,
another meditation.
and let it out. Right? There have been clients I've had who literally a whole session has been nothing more than me sitting in the floor with them while they cry, just because they need to get it out. And mind you, this is like years of buildup and years of trauma, and you have to let it out. Because like a lot of Black people, right? Where Black, you're raised in the church, you're raised by traditional parents, you know, so the whoopings or beatings and yelling and cussing, and then you got to go to church every Sunday, and then church tells you that all you need is Jesus and you're going to be okay. You carry that with you.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, and as a man, y'all tend to internalize everything anyway.
Yup.
So you're internalizing things from your childhood up until today. In present day, Corbin or Courtney or someone else, you need a way to let that shit out. You need somewhere to just be. And that's the space that I create. I create the space for you to just be.
I was going to ask you how this work impacts your own life. You just kind of told.
Well, it does in ways that honestly most people wouldn't think.
How so? Give me an example of that.
Okay, an example of that. Talking to men, right, in all honesty, has made me a better wife.
I can see that.
Because, you know, like having a chance to sit down and hear different perspectives, it makes me think to myself, you know, well, wait, have I ever made Courtney feel this way? And if I have, how can I fix it so that he never feels this way again?
I can see that.
Have I in some way unintentionally broken Courtney? Right? So if anything, it helps me self-reflect. And then it makes me ask, well, damn, have I made my brother feel this way? My best friend feel this way? And it's also made me more accountable in ways that I guess normally women would not be.
Yeah, accountability is a big thing for women. They don't like to do that.
A lot of women don't, but you know, I have found that being accountable makes my life easy. You know, it's like, okay, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Now, tell me how that made you feel so that we can move on from it, so that I can help you move on from it. And after we've had this discussion, I can assure you that it won't happen again. And I'm human, so 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen again. But if it does, it's one of those, damn, that's an accident. I didn't mean for it to happen. You know, things like that. So it's just, it's a lot, but it's also a lot of fun.
I mean, I can see how it'd be. I was just wondering, like, as far as We have dogs in the studio.
Somebody has made the doggy no.
We got dogs in the studio, guys.
Puppy dogs.
We are not into no Diddy shit.
Oh my God, Corbin.
That's all they wanted was her.
Yeah.
Oh, where was that? Okay. First of all, thank you. I got one more question, and this is kind of I hope this is a fun question. I have learned a lot tonight, and we may have to do another one of these. But what I wanted to ask you, you are the spokesperson for Black men now. Black men all across the world. We have nominated you. It's a very cush job. Pays a lot of money. What is the one thing that you would tell the world for Black men that we won't talk about ourselves? Like, we nominated you. We're going to push you out from behind the curtain, and you got to tell the world this one thing that we would just take to our grave, because I know it's more than one.
If I could sum it all up,
Yeah.
Black men are human. Black men have emotions, and Black men deserve to be loved out loud. The out loud part matters more than anything else.
Thank you, Miss Erica. Do you want to tell the people anything about you? Where they can find you on the socials, if they can find you on the socials? Tell them about your podcast.
My podcast, okay. You can find me definitely on Facebook for the podcast under Students of Life Podcast. It is a, excuse me, it's a podcast that I do with my husband. We talk about life and all things in that regard. Nothing is off limits. We have just recently wrapped up our first series. You can find us on all streaming platforms except YouTube. We are not on YouTube yet. We have videos coming soon. But it's very fun. It's very informative. And we are always open to talk and discuss our episodes.
Thank you for coming, ma'am.
Anytime. This was fun.
Guys, that's it for episode 2. Thank you again for listening. I hope that you found a few nuggets here and there to think about, something to carry you to the next episode. You can find our show on all your favorite streaming services and on Facebook at the Crafted Man Podcast. We're going to get out of here in a second. But before we do, let's pour this shot. This goes out to the Black men in your lives that are fighting battles that you know nothing about. May they one day find a safe space to lay their burdens down. Cheers.